Hey everybody. Sorry, I lied. I didn't mean to lie, but I said I was coming on early and was going to be on here in 5 minutes. But I wasn't able to because a really cute cop came up to me, and so we got into talking, and you know how that goes. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. My husband, I'm in the town that he works in, and he came by to see me, and I was just about to go live because I thought it would be so funny if I was like, oh no, I'm getting pulled over. Here I am trying to do something nice for the Lord, and I'm getting pulled over. And then I was going to be like, oh, it's Officer Hottie. But anyways, he texted me right when he was on his way and said, hey, I just want you to know I don't want to be on your live, and I don't even want to be acknowledged on there. So, because he actually isn't supposed to like be on like camera or like be on Facebook with his uniform on and stuff. So anyways, I had to respect him. I had to submit to him as unto the Lord. So that's what I just did. So sorry I wasn't on right when I said I was going to be on. I realized I still have my gum in my mouth. Nothing worse than, well, there are worse things, but I was going to say there's nothing worse than talking to somebody who has gum in their mouth. But there's really nothing worse than somebody who's eating with their mouth full and talking with food in their mouth. There's really nothing worse than that. Hey, so when you jump on here, let me know where you are watching from. I thought it was really cool the other night when I did a live or day, and somebody was on here from Colorado that I had actually talked to and prayed with over the phone, which was really cool. But I'm not seeing any comments yet. I see that there's people watching, but the comments are lagging for some reason. So, yeah. So if you're saying something, I cannot see it. So I am borrowing this coffee shop's Wi-Fi right now, but I did buy something. I did buy a coffee. I went in there and got myself a honey latte so I wouldn't feel bad about stealing their Wi-Fi. So now I am officially a customer using their Wi-Fi from inside my car. Because the other day when I did a live from inside of a coffee shop, it was loud and obnoxious. It was hard to like keep my focus, and especially with the dinging and the lattes being made and all that stuff. But anyway, so I decided I would just do it in my car. Hey Natalie, I see you saying hi. Good, the comments are working. It was a couple of weeks ago I was on here, and I was like, I was pretty sure that people would probably be talking back to me based on what I was talking about and based on who was watching, but no one was saying anything. And then after I watched the replay, I noticed that a whole bunch of people were saying stuff, and I never saw them. So I just wanted to make sure that that part was working. So yay. So I am on my way here in just a little bit to go and meet with a marriage, husband and wife who are having a lot of marital problems and are really kind of on the brink of divorce if they don't hurry up and do something. And so if you guys could please cover me in prayer, I will be working with them tonight from 7:30 to 9, and I feel very pumped up about it. I feel anointed to do it. I feel like God has given me a strategy to be able to help them, and I am praying for a miracle tonight. I'm praying for a breakthrough. I'm praying for a miracle, and I could just really use all of your prayers, because of course the enemy's going to want to stop that. And part of the way he would stop that is if they use their own free will to not do what I'm asking them to do, because I really believe that if they do what I ask them to do tonight, like wholeheartedly, I believe there is going to be a miracle in their relationship, in their marriage. And so if you guys could please just cover me in prayer starting at 7:30, that would be super awesome. And pray for this marriage to be completely restored in Jesus' name. Pray for the ministry of reconciliation to be released into this marriage, because I am so sick of seeing divorces. I'm so tired of marriages that could be saved don't get saved. And, I'm a product of divorce in more ways than one. My parents got divorced, and then of course I got divorced, and it just causes a lot of damage. So if there's any way that a marriage can be saved, we need to try to do that. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. And I would just really appreciate your prayers, because I want another testimony of another marriage that was healed and then used for God's honor and his glory. And I've seen people's marriages that were like the worst I've ever even heard of have been restored now, and they're being used by God. And that's a real thing that can happen as a Christian. Like, God really is a God of miracles. And so, but yeah, let's just pray for God to really come through tonight, and for God's people, this husband and wife, to really submit to what he wants to do tonight. So it's really up to them. So many people are offered a miracle, they're offered healing, but they don't actually take it. They're not really willing to do what God asked them to do to really save their marriage, or whatever that is, get out of addiction, or get out of anxiety or depression, or whatever. There's always a way out, and God always provides a way out. But not everyone's willing. So I understand that not everyone is willing. And sometimes the wife is willing and the husband isn't, or sometimes the husband's willing and the wife isn't. But if both people are willing to do what they need to do what God asked them to do, like, man, they can have a way better marriage than they ever even dreamed of. They can have a better marriage than they ever even started with. Like, some people, they're like, gosh, I just wish it would be like it used to be. But in the kingdom of God, like in God's people, as a Christian, you shouldn't settle for that. Like, there's way more than that. You can really live happily ever after and have the marriage of your dreams, and actually live happily ever after, but you have to be willing to put in that work. So anyways, totally off track from what I thought I was going to talk about tonight. So I'll still talk about what I was going to talk about. So and I think that this can actually go along with marriages that are in trouble. So the other night I was having a conversation with my husband, and he was complaining about a situation that has really been bothering him. And it's been bothering him for like a year or two. And so we've had this conversation a lot. And he was just really frustrated. So he was just venting. He's like, and this is bothering me, and this other thing is bothering me. And I was just kind of listening. And then all of a sudden I was like, I think it would be so awesome for you to use that frustration as your motivation. Like, actually use that for your motivation and do something about it. And I wasn't saying it in like a snotty way, but as soon as I said it, as soon as I was like, you should use your frustration as your motivation, as soon as I said that, I was like, ooh, that's good. I gotta write that down. I'm gonna do a video on that. and ever since then, this was like probably, I don't know, a week ago or something. So ever since then, I started thinking about all these other things that have been going on in my own life or other people's lives where they're really frustrated too. And I started thinking, gosh, they could totally use their frustration as their motivation, which is what I am currently doing. Like, for 2 years now, I've been super frustrated about like not making money, or enough money, like a living wage. I've been frustrated about like running the business of the ministry. And I've said things like, I didn't get into ministry to run a business. Like, I'm so frustrated. And so I've said these things for like 2 years. I've been complaining and not really doing anything about it. I just kept complaining and thinking, oh, well, something will happen. Maybe there'll be like $1 million check in the mail, or maybe somebody's going to come along and they're just going to rescue me, and they're going to go, let me run the whole ministry for you. I'll do it. I'll run the business, and you can go off and do this whole ministry thing or whatever. And I was kind of just kept waiting for like a miracle to take place while I complained, while I stayed frustrated. And the longer I went, the more frustrated I was getting. And I was like, man, what is wrong with me? I need to be more positive. And so I would like try to praise God for what I could, and I would try to forgive different people, and I would try to do these other things. I would try to surrender and all this stuff, but I really wasn't making too many changes. And so all of a sudden in January, so it was like whatever, the maybe the first or second week of January, all of a sudden I like got super mad, super frustrated, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to quit. Like, I'm not going to quit ministry, but I'm done. I'm so done doing it the way that I've been doing it. It's my life. I can do whatever I want, you know? And I started getting so frustrated. And then as I was getting so frustrated like that, I started thinking like a little bit like, you know, man, I have a bad attitude. Like, what's wrong with my attitude? But at the same time that I was thinking that, on the other hand, I was thinking, this is what it's going to take for me to really surrender. I got to get so mad and so frustrated that I am just done. I'm just so done with the way I have been doing it that I need to do something different. And so I just started surrendering the way I've been doing it. And I started asking God, like, God, I need you to show me a different way of doing it. I'm not quitting ministry. I'm not quitting Purely His. The vision is still the vision. Purely His is still purely His. But I am done doing it the way that I've been doing it. And I'm in charge. I'm in control. I'm the boss. I can do whatever I want. And so I started really digging in and trying to get myself educated in some of the areas that I'm not good at. So like in the areas of making money, or the areas of making, like doing business type stuff, those are things that I really lack in. So I started educating myself, and I am just refusing to live a life of frustration. I refuse to live a life that I don't like. And so I need to make changes, and I can't wait for somebody else to come along and rescue me, or for somebody else to come along and bring about a change, or for me to just sit and complain and think something's going to change. It just won't. So I have to make changes that fit my life, and I have to do whatever I need to do, whether it's changing my mindset, getting more educated, getting more bold, cutting things out of my life, bringing things into my life, whatever it is that I need to do, I need to do that. And so I started looking at that frustration that brings motivation. I started looking at that and going, it took me 2 years of being frustrated before I finally was willing to make a change. I was not willing to make a change 2 years ago. I wasn't. I wasn't ready to make a change a year ago, but I sure was ready to complain about it. So, you know, some of us take a little longer than others. I am one of them. And partly it was because I think I was really scared to make a change. That's one part of it. But I also didn't know what to do. You know, I didn't even know what I was supposed to be searching on YouTube. I didn't know who I needed to ask, and the questions I was asking were the wrong questions. And so, you know, I just kept asking God the same question over and over and over again, and then I would go around to these different people asking them the same exact question, and they would all give me these different answers, and none of them were the answer that like set me free. I didn't get the answer until I got so frustrated that I threw up my hands and was like, I'm done. I surrender. I'm sick of this. I'm so sick of it. Here you go, Lord. Here's everything. And I just gave him everything that I was complaining about. And I said, all right, Lord, you're going to have to like show me another way. Oh, my little cutie just drove by in his cop car, even though he told me not to put him on camera, but I didn't. Now he's pulling somebody over. So cute. I love him. For those of you who weren't on here at the beginning, I came to the town that my husband works in. He doesn't ever like me to say what town he works in. So anyone who knows, don't say it on Facebook. But anyways, he's not allowed to be on Facebook in his uniform. And so, anyways, he drove past, and right before I got on my live, and we hung out and talked for a few minutes. But right when he was on his way, he was like, hey, don't put your live on, or don't acknowledge that I'm here if you're already on your live. So anyways, it was kind of funny, but so yeah, so anyways, I got distracted by his cuteness driving by in his cop car. So anyways, So if you're really frustrated in your life in a certain situation, it doesn't always mean leave the situation. Sometimes it means that what you're doing it the wrong way. And so you're not getting the results that you should be getting. And so, like I got a text message from somebody today, and I get a lot of these. It's so funny because it was like God was confirming, because, I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about tonight. And I knew this was one of the things that I could talk about. And then I got a message from somebody today telling me that she is really frustrated with her job, and she is going to school for this one thing, but when she really thinks about what she really is passionate about, she's really passionate about this and she's really passionate about that, but that's not what she's going to school for. And she's like, I just need help. I just need prayer. I just don't know. I'm just so frustrated. And so my answer to her was, you do know that your calling and your job can be the same thing, right? And I was like, how about you change your major to this other thing, and how about you get a job working kind of in that field, even if it's just getting your foot in the door. And so anyways, but it was just interesting that she was saying how frustrated she was, and she was like, I feel so bad because I'm complaining because, like, at least I have a job, I just don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm just so frustrated, but what I'm really passionate about is this, and so if you're saying something like that too, don't wait 2 years. Maybe you already did, but try not to wait 2 years. Like, notice when you are frustrated and do the things that you know to do to try to, like, get rid of the frustration, because sometimes we're frustrated because we need to forgive our boss, or sometimes we're frustrated because whatever, we really need to ask someone for a raise or something. But other times we're frustrated because our season has changed. Like, God has moved in our life, and he wants us going a different direction, or he wants us doing the same thing, but he wants us to do it in a more effective way. Or some of you are like, I can't stand my husband, or I can't stand my wife. Like, I'm just so sick of it. I'm so unhappily married. Like, I'm just so frustrated. And a lot of people just go, I just want to wipe the slate clean. I just want to divorce. I just want to move on. But another thing you could do is get so freaking frustrated that you do something about it. And you can't do something, on that other person's side, but you can do something on your side. I don't know what I'm going to walk into tonight with this marriage, this couple that I'm helping. I don't know if both of them are going to put forth the effort, or only one of them. But it's crazy, because even if only one of them puts forth the effort, and one of them chooses to go all in with Jesus again, and one of them chooses to get unstuck tonight, one person who's all in with Jesus and who's unstuck from something can be quite powerful and can be quite convincing and inspirational to the other person. That person can become very attractive to that other person. That person can become very lovable and can be the inspiration that will get the other person doing what they need to do. You just never know. But I would just encourage you to allow the frustration in your life to become your motivation. Like, do something about it. If you are constantly, calling yourself fat, calling yourself overweight, like, none of my clothes fit, I can't stand, okay, do something about it. Stop complaining. Like, aren't you sick of hearing yourself complain? Like, aren't you sick of being that negative? I'm sure your family is. I'm sure your friends are. Like, if you have been noticing, and maybe you haven't been noticing, but you'll notice now, if you keep complaining about the same thing over and over and over again, it's time to do something about it. And again, don't go to the extreme like divorce. Go to counseling. Go get yourself into a purely his group. Go to the gym. Go for a run. Like, start immediately doing something to get rid of that frustration, because sometimes that frustration is just to be there as a sign that you need to go a different way, or a sign that you need to do something differently. So that's what I'm doing in my own life. I really wish it wouldn't have taken me 2 years. Now I'm frustrated with that. But I wish it wouldn't have taken 2 years, but I feel like I've really had a breakthrough now. And my breakthrough came from being super frustrated and then fully surrendering it like giving it all to the Lord. And once I gave it all to the Lord, then I turned my hands around and I said, okay, show me what you want to give me back. Like I need a strategy here. I need to know what to do, because what I have been doing hasn't been working. So I really need like 1, 2, 3, show me what to do. And so, so that's where I'm at. I really do feel like he has shown me at least the next 3 steps. I know the next 3 steps. And that's plenty, because those 3 steps are going to keep me busy. So, anyways, I'd love to hear from you. Like, what is it that you have been super frustrated about? Maybe in what area? And, you know, consider surrendering that. So what is one area that you have been frustrated in that God is now asking you to surrender? Because maybe he has another way for you, or maybe he has a strategy to make that thing a lot more bearable. As I've been talking, has God put anything on your heart? Any area that you have been very frustrated and you're now ready to give that frustration to the Lord and ask him to step into that place and either give you a new strategy or change it, a new direction, something. But it is time to give up the frustration. It's time to stop complaining. It's time to do something different. Because complaining doesn't fix it. It just irritates you and every person around you. So what are you going to do about it? Hey, Destiny. Hey, Karen. Hey, Dad. Natalie. We are so adorable. I love that guy. One of these days he won't work so much and he'll get on these lives with me. I'll make him. He'll make appearances with me, but it's totally not his thing. But I can drag him on camera every once in a while. Just like I drag him on stage every once in a while. It's funny. He's way better on stage and camera than he thinks he is, but he doesn't like it. Let's see. I'm going to have to get off here pretty soon. So if you guys didn't hear in the beginning, I'm meeting with a married couple tonight at 7:30, and I could really use your prayers. We need a miracle. So they need a miracle, and I'm just praying that God would use me mightily tonight and powerfully, and that there would be real breakthrough tonight and a total miracle. So I am praying for complete reconciliation tonight in Jesus' name, and I could really use your prayer back up too. So 7:30, just a little bit. All right, well, you guys have an awesome night. I'm excited about all the new changes that are getting ready to happen in my own personal life and in our ministry and in all of your lives. I love to see lives change. So if you're just joining us, I'm just about to get off. So watch the replay. It's pretty good. I really feel like that was a word for several of you tonight. So let your frustration be your motivation. That's what I'm going to do. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.